Forged by Fire, Chapter 15. Yo, Gerald, you need a ride to the game tomorrow? Andy yelled across the gym. Nah, man, I got it covered, Gerald yelled back. Andy was one of the few boys on the team with his own car. Everybody depended on him for rides, and he loved being the center of that attention. Gerald took the bus to the games. He preferred that to the noise and crowd of Andy's car. He liked the silence of the bus ride to relax him and prepare him for a really good game. Gerald stayed every day after school for basketball practice. It was there that he felt whole and powerful. Rob, who had unanimously been named captain by the team, was tall, skinny, smart, and had the best line with girls that Gerald had ever heard. Andy was Rob's best friend. He wasn't a natural at basketball like Rob, but he tried hard and hated for Rob to outscore him. They had known each other since 7th grade and spent weekends at each other's homes. Both of them lived near the edge of the school district, where houses had neat lawns with trees in the backyard and a fresh coat of paint every other year. Gerald no longer felt uncomfortable around them, even though he lived in an apartment building downtown that had a broken elevator, graffiti on the walls, and very little grass anywhere. Andy and Rob breezed through life collecting friends and never making judgments about them, with seemingly no problems at all. Last month, after a movie one Saturday night, Andy, Rob, Tyrone, BJ, and Gerald had decided they were hungry, maybe even starving. "What you want to eat, man? Fast food? How much money you got?" $4.11. What about you, BJ? 69 cents. Hey, Gerald, what about you? I got about $8. We rich, man. I got an idea. Let's try that new all-you-can-eat place. Do they really mean all? Let's see, man, chuckled Andy as they headed for the restaurant. They paid for 2 meals, then went through the lines slowly. Andy got 6 kinds of meat, 10 dinner rolls, and 4 pieces of apple pie. Rob piled 8 pieces of corn on the cob, a mountain of mashed potatoes, 18 chicken wings, and 3 pieces of cheesecake on his plate. Tyrone picked up a stack of napkins and a bunch of silverware. They were laughing hysterically, but quietly. "They watching us, man," Gerald said fearfully. "That's 'cause you put jelly on your potatoes, man," BJ explained, laughing. "We ain't done nothing wrong," Robbie said with casual confidence. "Let's just eat." They laughed and gobbled up every bit of that food, smiling at the customers and making even the restaurant workers laugh along with them. When they finished, they cleared their plates, stood on the tables, and sang in perfect 5-part harmony a doo-wop version of the old Drifter's song, Under the Boardwalk. Everyone in the restaurant applauded and cheered as they took their bows. An old man with dark brown skin, piercing eyes, and slick gray hair had been watching them from the back of the room. He limped over to them, gave them each a $10 bill, and said seriously, "Enjoy your youth, my young friends. Tomorrow it may be gone." Robbie thanked him, then gave his $10 to the busboy as a tip, and the 5 of them left the place humming and happy. They ended up with a great meal, a satisfied audience, and more money than they started with. They forgot about the old man and his strange words. BJ Carson, as the team's manager, went to every practice and game. He was short, only about 5 feet tall, but he was tough and strong. He tried out for the team every year, and although he never made it, the coaches admired his courage and spirit. He loved basketball, and his sense of humor and knowledge of the game made him a natural to hang with Andy, Rob, Gerald, and Tyrone. Sometimes taller, older kids who didn't know BJ tried to take advantage of him. They only made that mistake once. Last year, BJ had accidentally bumped a senior with his book bag as he walked down the hall. The senior, a 6'6", 300-pound football player named Dante, had not been amused. "Who you bumping, punk?" "Who you calling punk?" BJ had asserted without fear. "I'm calling you a punk, your mama a punk, and your greasy granny a punk too." Dante was big and grinned cheerfully. He was used to getting his way. BJ put down his book bag, slowly turned around, and tensed his short, wiry frame to face the much larger boy. Dante started to laugh as BJ crouched in a karate attack position, but his laughter stopped short as he found himself sitting on the floor in the main hallway, a calm and smiling BJ offering his hand to help him up. "How'd you do that, man?" asked Dante, who was more amazed than angry. "Black belt, Master Kim, Taekwondo, paid for by my mama and my greasy granny," he added. "Ever need me to watch your back? Call me." BJ disappeared into the crowd. Dante just shook his head and chuckled at the nerve of the tough little guy with the powerful whip kick. He never bothered BJ again. The 5 friends had several classes together at Hazelwood High School. Rob, the smartest of them, made good grades with ease. He already had several academic and athletic scholarships lined up as possibilities. Tyrone was more interested in girls than grades, especially Rhonda, who was best friends with Andy's girlfriend, Keisha. Andy didn't make very good grades, but it seemed to Gerald that he just wanted attention at home, even attention for bad grades. Andy's parents rarely came to their games, while Rob's parents never missed one. BJ's mom came to games on nights when she didn't have stuff to do at her church. Even Monique came to the big home games. Gerald never told her, but it made him feel proud. It was Friday after the last class of the day, halfway through 10th grade, halfway through basketball season. It was raining. Gerald headed for his locker. "What you get on that math test?" Andy asked Gerald. "Another C-. If I study all night or don't study at all, seems like I get the same grade. I ain't seen a B in a long time." "Don't sweat it, man. I got the lowest grade in the class. Again. Coach is going to kill me if I don't get my grades up. And my dad, he'll give me lecture number 57. You know, the one about how he always made straight A's and why can't I?" "Yeah, man," said Gerald. But he laughed to himself as he imagined Monique giving him a lecture on good grades. She never even knew when report cards came out unless he told her. Rob and BJ chased each other down the hall, racing to their lockers. "Another B for BJ!" roared BJ as he tossed his books into his locker. Gerald threw a shoe at him, but BJ ducked. "Too smooth for you, dude," he grinned. "Who we play tonight, BJ?" "Centerville. Easy win. Your dad coming, Rob?" "Yeah, he'll be here. Can I get a ride home after the game, man?" "Got room for me?" added Gerald. "No sweat. What about you, Tyrone? You need a ride?" "Nah, man, I'm going to hang with Rhonda after the game." He grinned. "You need a ride too, Andy? Your car's still not working?" "My dad said he was coming, but yeah, I'm going to need a ride. He won't show. Hey, Rob, that math test beat you down too?" "Yeah, it was rough, but I got an A. Let's go to Mickey D's and get something to eat before the game." Gerald and Andy looked at each other and shook their heads. "What you going to do, man? A man's got to eat. Let's jet." Every day when Gerald left practice, he went by Angel's school to pick her up from dance practice. She was thriving on the hard work and sweat and hours of practice. Her face would be glowing when he picked her up, and she came home hungry and happy each day. He had watched her dance once when he got there early, and it gave him goosebumps. She was so naturally fluid and rhythmic that all she needed was the music, and her body did the rest. He noticed that the instructors pointed to her with smiles of admiration. On Friday, she was so bubbly that Gerald thought she'd explode. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "Guess what?" she giggled with joy. "You won the lottery," said Gerald, smiling. "No, silly. Better than that. I got picked to be the lead in our show next month. I get to wear a costume. Can Mama sew? How will I fix my hair? Do you think I look okay in yellow? That's what color my costume is. Do you think I'll look fat? Where am I going to find yellow tights? The show is in only 2 weeks. Suppose I break my leg the night before. What is the—" "Hold on there, sister. You're going to run over me with all them questions at once. Calm down a little. I'm so proud of you. I knew you were the best." Gerald hugged her then, tight enough to let her know how proud he was and how much he adored her. Angel half skipped, half bounced the rest of the way home. She was chattering about costumes and rehearsals and the crown she would wear on her hair. Gerald only smiled and let her ride along. He was so very proud of her, and it made him feel warm inside to know that she was truly happy at last. Her long brown hair blew behind her in the breeze, fuzzy and never quite cooperating with brush and comb. Her eyes were sparkling and full of hope. Something in that breeze made him think of Aunt Queen, and for the first time in a long time, he too felt at peace. They climbed the 6 flights of stairs easily, laughing and planning for the dance recital. Angel ran through the door, calling with excitement, "Mama, I'm a star! Her words died. She felt as if she were choking, drowning. Sitting on the sofa, cowboy boots and all, was Jordan Sparks.